Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Make sure my mic is actually good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, y'all? Um, Welcome back to the stream. Um, yeah, see what I talked about on this week's major market breakdown with UPAUD. It's like I didn't think we are gonna get too much more activity above this box, but I said if we do, we were just going to leave this entry alone and wait for another one. Um, Let me delete that real quick. Let me make sure my sound is good real quick because the last couple of streams that I did, um, my sound was not good, not good at all. Let me see. All right, so it's good. I just need to turn my gain up some more. Hold on. Turn it up, 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 up. There we go. There we go. That's louder. Yep. All right, let's get into it. um, got rid of. We're gonna go back to GPAUD in a little bit. Just want to go ahead and look at DXY. And that's why gold is doing so well this morning. I was looking at my gold trade. I'm like, whoa, I'm up in that gold trade right now. Because this is just, I think push a little lower. Yeah, just a wee bit. It's actually about to break through this level here where I expect to see more of a continuation below this level. But I think we might end up serving up a bounce here, um, possibly testing out this little swing high. Um, Maybe even digging into this what do you call it, fair value gap right here. Um, there's a chance, but I think there would have to be a little bit of a catalyst this week. Let's see. Today's the 15th. All right, let's see what we got on the docket. Um, got the German WPI month over month that came out at 1 a.m. CHF PPI came out at 1:30. Not too much. CPI month over month came out on the CAD just as expected. Um, and then their median CPI came out a little bit negative, just a little bit negative, barely though. Let's see. Right about now, well, what just came out was the GDP CB leading index month over month. Mm, not too much, not too much really move in the markets as far as news today. But FOMC member Mirren speaks, and then FOMC member Williams speaks at 9:30, right on the market open. That should be interesting. And then FPI month over month comes out for NZD. Not too much affecting there. Let's look at later in the week though. ADP weekly employment changes coming out tomorrow for the USD. That I think will be negative, majorly negative for the dollar because ADP numbers ain't been looking great. And then our average hourly earnings is supposed to come out and NFP employment change. Okay, so we got I'm not gonna say like a heaviest of news weeks, but it is on the heavier side, especially with these All this coming out Tuesday, but it should give us some clear catalyst for the rest of the week. See, look, as I let me go back over here. As I had just mentioned that this is probably going to give the dollar a bounce. It's bouncing as we speak. But let's go take a look at our euro trade that we are in. Wrong one. FXCM is the chart. Oh, excuse me. Um, I'd like a pullback to like at least this level here this week for me to get some more entries. So like I would love an entry like right here. Oops, that's not the right kind of entry. It's a sell box. We're going long. All right, get rid of that there. Slide over here just a little bit. And yeah, this is what this next entry for me personally is gonna look like. I'm gonna try to get in somewhere around this area here. And I'm only really risking back to that second entry. If you don't know, if you haven't been here before, that's how I usually manage my second, third, fourth entries, whatever. I usually only risk back to the last entry that I took, just in case like winds are changing, you know. But for the most part, with what we have going on with markets this week, next week, and probably the first few weeks of the year, is pretty clear to this point. I could always be wrong, but to this, at least, oh, did that mess up my sound? Sorry, my foot clicked the button on my inbox, and I gotta see if that messed up my sound real quick. Okay, well, not very much. So didn't. I thought that a button that I had pressed was making it so my sound was better, but apparently that's not the button that helped. Right. I use a Volt 2 interface and microphone combo. Um for the other content creators out there use that. Shout out to you. I bought it initially for music, recording music. But because I also stream and whatnot, it's multi-purposeful. So you that's cool. Let's go take a look at the Edge Finder, see if our top setups have kind of shifted. EURJPY still at the top, gold, right, there with it. Um, Not too much. Yeah, I didn't think we'd get too much of a different read from last week. Let's go take a look at the EURJPY trade that we took last week after we missed our entry. I'm not letting myself live that down. It's crazy. So we're actually close to entry. Um, Kind of yanked back. Was it last night? Yeah. Um, but it doesn't make us any less bullish. So, I'm gonna let the entry ride out. I'm not really gonna mess with it. Not looking to get more entries where we're at now. Like I said before, when I did the video on it, its price is a little overextended, but that doesn't mean it has to sell off. But that doesn't make me, wanna super duper get more buys, and you know what I mean. So, I'm just gonna let the entry that I have kind of ride this out right here. The risk to reward isn't bad, and the fundamentals are um most definitely in our favor. So yeah, got this little yank back last night. But I mean, overall, we're still bullish. And then, I mean, technically, this doesn't. I mean, even technically, this doesn't look bearish to me. it would have to trickle down below this level here for me to actually see. Okay, that's bearish price action. That's super bearish price action. But I am looking for pullbacks on quite a few of the bullish instruments I'm looking at this week. Let me take another peek at the S real quick. EURGP still getting more of a bullish read. We're in EURGP. We've actually been in EURGP for like for a minute now. Got in initially got in. Let me actually go on a higher time frame. 'Cause I'm still in some drawdown. um, my first entry was like up here. Honestly, I was looking forward to go ahead and start pricing up from here, but we yanked. Then I caught another entry, got some buys, ended up taking profit on some, and then we yanked back again, and I got entries down here. So that's how this has been playing out. But URGP is pretty bullish over the mid to short term. So like next like 3 months ish roughly is good URGP buys, and yeah, you can see that um you know as you see it flat out here on the edge finder. It's got a +7 score, not the highest score to have, but you know a high enough score to favor my technical bias, which is to the upside. So um, this week, I would honestly love to see Price give me another opportunity to get some more entries. So, like, if we were to like yank back to like here, give me a little love tap there. I definitely see that as another opportunity to get in. um, let's see. I'm sorry, I did get in a little bit late this morning. That's why I'm kind of breezing through the setups. So there's a no. How do I? There's so many. There's notifications that keep coming out of my other computer, and I have the notifications turned off. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm still getting the notifications again. Yeah, Jim, around 9:15 is perfect. And I want to announce that we'll actually be streaming every day starting next week. So starting next week, we'll be streaming every day, not just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but Monday through Friday. You dig what I'm saying? So may not always be the longest of streams, just because I'm a very busy man. But I am expanding the staff so that there's going to be some more voices, more traders. Uh, I've started to notice that quite a lot of folks are waiting for Kevin to hop back on stream because I didn't know that there were so many of so much of my audience that trades the futures market. So that's really cool. um, so glad to have that value point um for you guys. Well, what up? What up? What up? I was I was mad confused for a second because like I didn't. Yeah, no, I could. So I don't have I have my screens kind of wonky right now, so I can't even see myself. so so I thought my inbox was doing something a little weird. Let's add you in here. Here's how this is gonna go. Um Jim's gonna do 9:15 to like 9:30, 9:45 ish, and then you guys can kind of switch back and forth.
So
Um,
I just
um,
got filled in for a trade, so I thought that I'd pop in here and see what's going on before I looked too heavy into the charts.
gotcha. I'm just taking a look at some of these forex pairs here. We were looking at trading. Well, I've already been in URGV, but I want more entries on it because of the fact that I really like this trade from a overall 3 month perspective. Definitely looking to take out these highs up here. But I'm glad you hopped on because Nasdaq's supposed to be interesting this morning.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it was. As far as overnight sesh goes, they came out the gate over with the Asian sesh. They tried to sweep some lows, and it's pretty much just been a slow climb since then. I didn't get filled for Nas, but I'm chilling here in a gold position. Top Step just started doing these no activation fee evals, so I opened one of those up and trying to hit that TP today. I liked the little triple top here in this 438 region. So I took a short after it fell and failed that retracement there. Um, as far as NAS is going, I haven't really checked on NAS in a minute. Get my little levels here. It's like that
I
broke.
meant to ask from your end, do you have the ability to like add and remove like your screen to the scene? Because I be doing it myself, but I'm not. I haven't been sure if you and Jim have the ability to do that from your end.
I think so. Yeah, you should be able to see my NQ screen, my MNQ.
No, no, no. I can see it. I'm just saying, do you have the ability to click and drag it to the screen yourself? Like, do you get the
Uh,
option to add? Like, does it give you the little option to add to scene
um, I've got a picture in picture and enhance. I don't see a add to scene though. It's just share screen.
at the bottom? Like, when you hover over your face, does it say remove from scene?
No,
Okay. So, I gotta see how I can figure out how to make it so it's like y'all can do everything that I can do on here.
yeah,
Um, because that's what I did. I didn't know if you guys had the ability to do that. That's why I've been kind of switching it back and forth myself. So I'm glad I was doing that shit.
nice, nice,
um,
yeah.
because like I know there's been a few times where I hopped on and it looked like I was streaming and my camera could be seen because I could see myself, but then I watched the replay and my face wasn't found. So it's taken a few
Oh,
tries. It's taken definitely a few tries to get it right, but
yeah, some
I'm
trial and error. No, it's
yeah.
looking good for my end. I think.
All right, bad. All right, well, Jim should be hopping on momentarily. I got through most of what I had to talk about this morning. Um, his slot time is like 9:15 ish. He likes the open. But
Yeah, he was knocking out some single stock picks. I think it was Friday. He was cycling
yeah,
through a good chunk of them.
yeah.
But
But we got unlimited time now since we upgraded the software, so
nice.
we can stream for unlimited amounts of time. So I planned on doing it in a way where like after both of you get your segments out, I was gonna just like don't end the stream, just leave it up, and like I'm just gonna put up one of my charts to just kind of be there all day. So
I
like
see. Yeah,
even when we're not like on we can still be having value on the channel for folks just scrolling by.
for sure. Nice. Yeah. Well, coming into the week, I don't have a ton right now. I know that we were wanting to see how Monday responds to that sell off. On this 15-minute chart, though, I guess just to dive in, these two white horizontal things, every Asian sesh, right up at the first 15 minutes, I go ahead and mark the highs and lows. So you see it kind of swept this low. We've had this 15-minute sloping support since we bottomed out on Friday. So I figured it was probably a pretty good point of interest for buyers. I didn't realize that they would just grab it and run with it all Asian sesh. So I haven't touched NAS. Personally, because I don't see a point in buying right here, to be honest. If we look at the 4 hour chart, let me make this a little bit more pleasant for the viewers. We've officially lost that middle deviation on the 4 hour. I'd expect that 500, 500 to get tested again before maybe another sweep down, but this range right here doesn't really interest me at all. So I've kind of moved over to gold for the time being, just because we've got this double top on the higher time frames. 15-minute confirmation, loss of the standard deviation in the middle is what my entry was, and then I'm just taking a real simple point of interest exit, really just what I need to cap off my day there. So nothing super exciting going on my charts today. I'm just switching between M and Q and some gold. I looked at MES for a bit last night, but same story as Nasdaq. It was just this slow grind up, and I'm not a big fan of it because really you could see a 15-minute liquidate all of this buying. So they're not going to get me with that today.
He said, "Not today,
Not today.
not today, Satan."
Now that I'm up at 215 or so, I'll probably move this down, secure about 100 solid, just in case it wants to come back and remove this shelf that we've got below. But this looks really nice as far as my short. If I get stopped out there, I'm not going to be upset at all. So
Yeah, yeah. Protecting the capital, that's what we love the most. That's what we love
yes,
the most.
sir. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go ahead and close out before Jim hops in to talk about these stock picks.
Yep.
I love y'all. Make sure you're kind to somebody today. Oh, and Kevin, I meant to tell you. So we have another. There's another person that I've brought on the team that's helping on the back end side as far as like editing clips and things like that. So you're gonna
Sweet.
see a lot more of yourself on like social media and stuff. So
Cool
just
with that.
fair warning.
Just fair
All
warning.
right.
Yeah. I'll try
I
to get
love
some.
y'all. Make sure you're kind to somebody today.
All right. Peace out, man. All right. We're going to watch this, see if we can't break down right about there. If we lose this 15-minute lower Bollinger Band, I might. I don't know. I shouldn't rush this. I'm notorious for placing my stop loss a little too soon, but we've got some pretty good action there. So I'm going to let the trade do its thing. Maybe go grab me a little bite real quick. All right, let's go. That 300. I'm going to go ahead and move this into a stop at 275. We broke that lower shelf, so I really want to catch the
order filled.
Liquidity sweep. Yeah, there it is. Never mind. All right, 275 on that trade. No stress, no worries. Now we got Jim coming in here in just a moment. Try to move that a little bit. A hypothetical long right there. We did hit the bottom Bollinger level on the 15-minute chart, which is, I was going to say, did I just lie to you guys? No. Sweet. I'm not going to take that trade, but just a hypothetical. What up, Jim? Good morning.
Hey, morning.
Jim is in the game. He's here Monday.
Morning.
Bright
Hope
and
everybody
early.
had a good weekend.
Likewise.
Oh, yeah.
What you got on your charts, brother?
We got a lot going on here.
Yeah, I just got stopped out.
Mainly going to be short this morning.
Yep. Just missed a gold short. Got in about 40 minutes ago. It just stopped for about 250. So,
yeah,
short is the word.
I couldn't tell you the last time I traded gold. It's been quite a while.
It's been a beast. This year is the year of gold for sure. They're saying 2026 will be silver.
It's got to be, yeah. Yeah. Hell of a lot going on there. Where's it trading? I don't even know. It's still above 4,000.
Gold right now? Oh yeah, it's 4,300. So
yeah.
Right now it's pushing that 43.75. I think is where I went short.
Yeah.
And at the moment,
last time I paid attention was going through the. I was going to say last time I paid attention was going through the 4,000 number.
Yeah, it cleared that,
Just
retraced all the way back down, and then it's just been on this grind for 30 something days now. So I'm not taking a whole lot of overnight swings, but the 15-minute chart definitely was inclined for bearish sentiment this morning, so I took it. Nas not so cut and dry. We did have a bit of a downside sweep right out of the Asian gates, and it's just rebounded retested that opening range and has just been on a cruise all the way up. So I've not been in NAS since probably about, I don't know, 11 o'clock last night Eastern time. I got stopped out of a short position on this rebound back down, but that's pretty much all you missed. Drip was in here for a minute, just saying what's up, gave us his sentiment, and then I think you're all set to take off now. If you got some wise words for us this morning.
Oh yeah. Hopefully they're wise beyond my means or something like that. We shall see clearly. Anyhow, guys, what we're looking at is not a heck of a lot in news this morning, but a lot, in my relative strength stuff. We're gonna be mainly short, and that makes sense the way things kind of went out. Was nice to see the market down a little bit, and we get some vol going on. We get some things moving, and that's good. So what was a yawner of a week for me turned out to be okay because had some decent bounces on the long side in PSTG, just like go real fast of these guys, that we were talking about uh, on Friday morning. Pure Storage has I hate slow, but they picked up here and then did its thing and spat out kind of there. Rivian was the one short that eventually worked out okay for me. Couple of pieces there. I think I was short it three in three different pieces. Only bummer was I didn't get my highest short off, which I think was like 1967. Got as high as 1960 or so, and then just kind of came in. Remember, we was talking about this, and it didn't. We saw that the Tesla dip, and then it didn't, and was long a very small amount of Tesla, and Tesla kind of worked out. I mean, it was not. Granted, I was not in it that long. I mean, it got out at the end of my Tesla probably somewhere around here, like 455 or so. But that worked out. And Tesla's up this morning because we got Elon talking about various things. So it's got Tesla going, and we might see new highs there today. At least I'm thinking it will before I'm going to get short, at least anyway, in that situation. Did trade Micron small after I left you guys on the long side, and that was just for a moment or so. Nothing much to talk about there, and got out of it profitably, but barely. Uh, the other two I'm going to mention first solar. First solar, I'd mentioned as a morning long, and then had to can that. And sure enough, it came in, but it came in enough for me at that point. There was a profitable trade there. Right. I got it around 250, got out like 255 or so, and then we saw it come in some out after that, just a little bit, but not a tremendous amount. And was going to mention to RH. I did not get involved in. I had mentioned to you guys like the 160 level, and it chose not to get involved, but it did. It did. I mean, it traded saw 158 or so, and then had a nice little pop back there. We do have some news stocks, but nothing huge to mention except maybe Rocket Lab and EcoStar because of Elon we're talking about valuations of his new stock coming out. So got Rocket Labs up a bit, had gone out on decent range on Friday, $5 and change. Looking a little bit less. It was looking 63 before, looking 62, 65 now. I have it kind of wide, 55.69 for it as a first purchase at 70 to short it. And I think at 70 would be a new high. No, not quite a new high there. Okay. And EchoStar, SATS, also got moving there. A range of almost $5 on Friday. Went out well. Looking 109. I'm 101.74 for it to purchase it at 118.27 to short it, and that would be a new high by quite a lot there. We got about 8 minutes or so. Let me mention our relative strength plays this morning. AMD is a short. These guys are all a little bit higher. last I saw. So take that accordingly. I think I saw, yeah, AMD is around 212. I'm looking to short at 221.26 as my initial entry there. And again, these relative strength plays are good till 11 in the morning. Okay, so we're looking for some kind of move and then some kind of follow through directionally in the way it was going. Uh, so about $10 higher than where it's trading right now. Constellation Energy had a big movement day there on Friday, almost $30 worth of range, and that's more in line or a little bit better than what it normally trades. So had gone out around 352, looking about 350, a little over 356 now. I am at 369.62 to short it this morning. Charter, again, decent range on Friday, $8.50 or so. Again, went out weak, so we're looking to short it this morning. I had gone out 206.60, nothing much going on pre-market. At 214.42 to short it this morning. CoreWeave, CRWV. Again, went out fairly weak. Range was pretty good, $10. Nice to see it moving more. Used to really move a lot more when it was, in the hundreds, but as the stock comes in, we don't see that as much. Trading 79 at 87.23 to short it. Carvana was definitely the stock of the week last week, with the moves of it getting into the S&P 500. Had $30 worth of range on Friday, looking higher by about $6. First short here would be 477.46, so up about 16 or so. Again, quite feasible. Not relative strength play, but watching again GE Verona, which kind of goes with CEG, kind of goes with Constellation. So I kind of want to watch that as something to play off of it, some kind of relationship there. We saw it above 700, had great range, $42 on Friday, trading 685 up from 671, close on Friday. Thinking 643.96, first purchase at 718.39 to short it. So quite a lot of room there. And again, on purpose because it looks like it's going to move. A little bit of water. Try to stay hydrated here. Well, hopefully not too much because I'm on to 11.
Yeah, better than me. I'm already
Excuse me,
two cups of
Micron
coffee
looking at
in.
about $5 higher. Went out weak. 2 cups of coffee or longer. I can't do more than 2 cups of coffee, or else I'll be bouncing off the walls here. So that ain't not a good thing. Micron 240, looking at $5. So that's about not out of line for Micron to be moving in the morning. I'm at 259.62 to short it initially. Actually going to look to make a play in NVIDIA this morning as well on the short side. Had gone out kind of weak. Actually, pretty good range for it. Actually, $8 worth of range on Friday. Went out near the lows, looking 177 and change, up about $2 from where it went out. I'm at 182.54 to short it. Let's see if we have anything else here as a morning short. We do have Rocket Mortgage Companies. We're looking at RKLB, Rocket Labs this morning too, but RKT, Rocket Companies, the financial rocket, didn't exactly take off. I know I'm being very punny here. On Friday, went out near the lows. Still look for some kind of a move here because it can, have quick blip ups. So I'm at 2018 to short it. So we'll see what happens there. About 3 minutes left here. Let's go take a fast look at Tesla and see that, it bounced from around 440 or so when we were talking about it on Friday morning. Had that nice run up and, it's looking now at like 468. So let's see what happens there. I'm 444.46 for it. and at 499.72. So I'm thinking it might have, things tend to run toward high numbers, and it would be making a new high by a lot, by about 12 points or so.
Order
It's trading
filled.
470 now, by the way. But we'll see where it gets to, and it could be worth some kind of play on the long side too. We'll see, if we have some kind of consolidation going on there. A couple of news stocks we did not mention. DG. Waiting on it here. Okay, so Dollar General we see had gone out well and it got an upgrade, so somebody must have known something. Conspiracy theories or whatever, that kind of thing. So went out well, looking higher. Is that a new high? Yeah, it's a new high. So on that land of perma new high, so it seems with a lot of these stocks. So that's higher. Las Vegas Sands LVS had probably average. I would call it average range on Friday, about 250 or so. Okay, got an upgrade, I believe, or somebody was talking nice about that, about Marriott MAR. We're getting close to the open, so Marriott. Okay, there we go. Actually changed the symbol in Marriott a couple years ago to MAR. Back in the day, it used to be MHS after Marriott Hot Shops, MHS, like things you used to see. Like it makes me think of like the New York State Thruway when I was a kid, when they used to have like little restaurants there. It's called Hot Shops or something like that, I think. Two Chinese stocks, Alibaba and Baidu. In China with some
Order
weakening
filled.
data numbers, I believe. Alibaba, okay, looking a little bit lower as we open, and Baidu. Before we get into the crux of things, fast look at Baidu, and we'll get our
Man, that
day
was pretty
started.
foul. Just got swept out
That was
for
9:30. So
for a little loss, but right out the gate, and then it just followed right down to where my TP was. It was a sleazy little wick right there. I entered right at
yeah,
that
yeah,
bounce, and it just, what is that, like a point and a half or something? It went up. That was crazy. Oh well, could
yeah,
see it
yeah.
from a mile away.
Yeah, somebody going. I was going to mention, guys, too. I was going to mention Bitcoin off a little bit this morning, 89,300. Reasoning behind it, again, no idea. I'm always clueless in these guys. What can I say? Can I say? What can I say? I see Tesla trading 473 from the get go. Interesting. Flipping there. Fast look. Okay, 474 now. So we'll see what happens. See if there's a worthwhile trade. You trade in it, if we see some kind of sideways move, and maybe look to play it, on the long side. We'll see. We'll see what dictates there. And again, I want to like at least get 3 trades in with you guys. It was not an issue on Friday because there was enough going on, but we'll see how this plays out this morning because we got a bunch of things going. I think I had Moderna too. I want to mention Moderna because I think I had that as a morning short too. I think I just skipped by it. Range wasn't great, but it did go out pretty weak. So sitting kind of quietly, and I do have it up at 33 because I know it can move, and I don't want to get knocked out of it. And I also have Intel as a morning short. Missed that for some reason too. Intel had some decent mover days last week, and also kind of quiet. I'm at 39.74, so got a ways to go there. Would be up near the top of the range on this chart. Very, very, very possible. Looking at our quantum stocks, IonQ was the one that had decent range on Friday. The other two guys not quite so much. After a pretty quiet start, I am 46.64 for it at 55.59. QBTS. Waiting on. Actually, well, $3. That wasn't bad. It's more Rigetti that had crappy range. Okay, right now 26.61. I'm 22.90 for it at 29.80, and Rigetti had really poor range for it, $1.82. I'm 23 for it at 29.72, and wait to see Rigetti here is trading right around $26 right now. So that's where we're at there. As far as moving here, what do we got? We got kind of quiet down spiders and Nasdaq for now.
Yeah,
Seeing Oracle at an important point here. I mentioned 186 the other day. Actually touched upon that on Friday. Touched there on Friday. Then bounced off it pretty well, but now down a little bit this morning. So we'll see what happens there. Just checking to see
Order
where
filled.
I'm at. Oracle, I'm actually pretty far down. I'm thinking 172.24. Okay, what do you got going on? Anything good for us?
Nasdaq just blew two levels of mine,
172.24 there.
so I went ahead and took a pretty low risk long off of this new low established. I'm not looking for anything big. If anything, maybe a 50% retracement, but I want to see how many times it'll bounce that point of interest before we come back up to this one. That was just a full sell off right out the gate there. So I'm going to keep my stops pretty low because we could just flush all the way to this third one. It's the same thing we saw Friday morning right out the gate. And I wasn't ready for that many levels to be lost.
Order
Gotcha.
filled.
Today I am, so I'm keeping them real tight. Don't want to give a whole lot of that away. So just going to keep charting this NASDAQ low, and probably in the
Gotcha.
next 10 minutes, once this 15-minute candle is fully developed, we'll have a decent 15-minute range that we can play off for the day. Something like that.
Gotcha. I would be remiss, guys, if I didn't take a look at Rivian this morning because it was a really big mover on Friday. So taking a peek here actually for the first time, and we see okay range from the get go here. 60 some odd cents, right smack in the middle right now. So, and it went out middle of the range for the day. I mean, it had 287 worth of range, went out kind of middling. I had it at a 0.98, so slightly positive, basically middle for the day. And I'm definitely widening it this morning. I'm 16.43 for it at 21.08, and we'll see what happens. Maybe there are some trades that can happen in there that might want to do. That RGC from the other day, I pulled when it got close and bounced off it, so never did buy any 1710 stock. Then it went out on the low, and here it is a little bit higher this morning. Could be worth doing something here. I threw in a 1391 as my first start there. We see there's next to nothing on volume to start the day, so we'll see if that changes, and that would impact whether or not I want to get involved. I want to see some volume there because that's notoriously weak as far as volume goes in that stock. Checking long side, yeah, we see it's up now. Up has been as high as 1780 or so RGC. So see what happens here. 1790 rather, but volume's quiet and it's pulling back in. So we'll see. Okay, we got Tesla
Order filled.
still moving up. So I guess everyone loves it this morning. Flipping back to GEV2, and then I want to look at Constellation right after that. So I do have that as a morning short. GEV, I'm wide. Numbers to remember in GEV was that 680 level, which it hung out at for quite a bit.
Order filled.
In the afternoon there, after it dips some, I had been thinking like 650 and change. Before it came into like 656 and then made a nice run up. Have seen, since I've been following it, have seen some extended down candles, extended up candles. So it makes big moves. So if you're in it the right way, I mean, that could be a good thing. For now, just watching it and kind of far away. And I said I wanted to mention
Order
Constellation,
filled.
CEG. See if it's kind of kind of paralleling what's going on there, and up but kind of quiet. And where the heck did I say I was? 365 ish, 367. Just checking real fast, see what my number is
Order
here.
filled.
Let's go off the phone, but I want to be talking actually higher than I thought. All right, 369.62. Got anything you want to talk about there, real fast? So you're in order filled a couple times.
No, I was just
Anything
doing
worth mentioning?
some real grubby scalping. Whenever it popped back up to this middle deviation level, I opened up a short position looking for that low to be retested. I went ahead and exited and re-entered and then exited again. So just a couple real small scalps. I think I made up $40 and I don't know, a couple seconds. I took two like $20 stop out. So I was really just looking to try to get back up into this P&L that I entered that previous loss in. But it looks like it's about to wipe out the New York lows and keep pushing down. I wouldn't be surprised if NASDAQ revisits 25,250 for this little 15-minute sloping support that we've established over the Asian sesh. That would be my key target if I was still in a short, but
Uh-huh.
that wasn't a very insightful short. I just took it was really more so opportunistic, and I was trying to get out before being in too long because I've seen these 15-minute ranges just get obliterated. So I don't like to stay in them too long. But the 9 EMA coming down through that was a good indication for me to take a secondary short.
Gotcha.
But other than that, now I watching this range break down, going to keep on moving. Like I said, 25,250 is pretty much where I'm expecting NAS to maybe find some buyers, although that is a lot of selling pressure in the first 10 minutes. So we've already completely wiped from the top, middle,
Gotcha.
going towards the lower Bollinger Band on my 15-minute chart. It's kind of the bread and butter. So once it does get down here, which coincidentally is about 20 points above that sloping support that I was just mentioning, we might get a little bit of buyers. Until then, it could be anyone's game. They could get, liquidated, come all the way back up. I've seen it before, so I'm going to sit on my hands for probably another 10 minutes and see if it can figure it out. How are they?
Good food for thought there.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. How quantum computing stocks treating you? I heard you were talking about was it QBET a minute ago? QBS? Who was it?
QBTS.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, quiet. I mean, quiet this morning. Same thing with Rigetti. IonQ's got down about $1, and that's the more expensive one out of the three guys I trade there. And that was one that moved the most on Friday. And I think
yeah.
Friday, I think I was like, it got down to 49. I think it was 48 something for it, if I remember right. Even on my sheet from the other day. No, I didn't quite make my sheet the other day, but I mean, these guys move pretty well, and they retrace pretty well too when they have them. And again, I'm gonna be farther away here, so we'll see what kind of move this makes, but we shall see. What's caught my attention here, for one, is still this Oracle pulling in. We saw a prior candle that was 5-minute candle that was down a good amount. Now we see, it tried to come back about halfway, but it was another pretty good down candle, and a little bit of retracement on this third candle of the day, but back near the lows. So we'll see. And I know I'm away, but it has my interest. I would have to say on a morning where I'm not seeing a heck of a lot going on as of yet. I see First Solar coming back to near Friday's lows. I guess Friday's morning lows are going to have to be kind of key with some of these guys because they made some nice bounce backs. So we'll see. We'll definitely have to see what goes on there. See where's Tesla versus what it had done. Tesla's standing out this morning on the positive side in a situation where not a heck of a lot of them are. And after Tesla, I want to take a look at Carvana because that was just higher, but now it's come off a bit. We'll see Tesla, continuing to be strong out of the gate. And like I said, I'm up at 499, so way the heck away, but maybe want to take some kind of long trade. Carvana, back to 464 now, has been higher. has been 467s. I have it as a morning short, but very careful morning short because it's Carvana. I am at 477.46, so good ways away. So it started to get my attention when it jumped, to that, but not exactly doing it right now. I want to flip to Intel. Are we getting some tech
Order filled.
down? I haven't seen Oracle. Looking at Intel, started okay, not quite as good. Still up on the day, but quiet as far as range goes. Should be looking at AMD and Micron too. AMD haven't taken a look at really this morning, so here's our really first halfway decent look at Advanced Micro. Okay, so pretty much flat after the open, kind of quiet. I'm looking to short it about $7 higher. What did I say there? 221, I think. Finding it, yeah, 220, a little over 221. Should take a look at Micron. Micron opened higher, and since then pulled in a little bit. Again, kind of far away. I said 259 to short it, fairways away to pick up stock. Nvidia, another morning short. Getting any kind of movement here. Waiting.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if Nasdaq will pick up some buyers down. We're about 10 points off from that point of interest, so I went ahead and placed a limit order at 572, but I scaled in with one just to
Yep.
see if we get that snap. But I'm keeping my stops pretty close because if it doesn't hold right here, then it's likely it's going to just keep dropping. So I don't even know if I'm confident enough to hold this 25,270. I'm pretty close to my daily TP. I'm about $170 off, so I don't want to be making it any more difficult for myself. But that is a lot of selling. It would really surprise me if we don't get at least a little bit of retracement. I'm not loving the lower wick
Order
developing.
filled.
Yeah, that's what I get for jumping back in. I need to time out for about 15 minutes or so. I'm getting antsy, so I'm going to go get some water. I'm going to let you do your thing. I'll be back in just one moment.
Cool. Talk to you in a bit. So we're looking at Nvidia, and not a heck of a lot going on there. We'll see if we do get, in fact, get some selling there that could be interesting. I want to revisit Rivian with Tesla on the move. See if we have any corollary there. And Rivian's up a little bit. We're not seeing the same kind of movement. I haven't looked at. I haven't looked at Lucid in quite a while. Make some joke. Am I, thinking clearly, looking at Lucid? Huh. But Lucid actually sliding a bit, but it looks like a big movement. It's 30 cents worth of range there, so nothing huge there. Let's go back and look at RGC because maybe there's a trade we want to do there. Now we saw it down there again after it went out kind of weak. It has been 1681 or so this morning. Hasn't touched the lows from yesterday, where it literally went out on its low, went out 1660. So not really seeing a trade there. I want to take a fast look at the volume because is there a no 5,000 shares now that I can't be involved there because of that. We've seen more in Rigetti today because just looking at IonQ. Okay, Rigetti getting a little bit interesting. Down close to 25. I'm actually 23 for it, so I'm pretty far away there. QBTS. We looked at IonQ when it was down about $1 just recently. QBTS coming off a little bit too, basically lower the days there. Good range, okay, and I'm 2290 there, so good. Good moves there. I'm got to plan on moves here. with these guys, whether they have them or not. You got to kind of figure they do tend to move. Okay, and here's Ion Q coming in, so that also gets my attention. I'm a buck 60 away there, so I'm going to head. All right, okay, I'm now 46. Ion Q, I put one in because I don't want to miss it. And make a little note here, so I have it handy too as a reference because basically working off my phone when I deal with you guys. So 46.64, I'm in. And it's coming back a little bit. Ooh, where's my sheet here? Okay, I lost my sheet. Okay, there we are. Wanted to look at Palantir as well. Don't have it as a morning trade, but just want to take a peek, see what it's doing, and see it's up a little bit. $2 and change worth of range. So kind of quiet there. I am pretty far off there. Let's go back to Oracle because Oracle was moving pretty good. Can we see Bitcoin off a little bit more? 88,800. Waiting here. Can Oracle again? Remember, I mentioned this 186 thing is a key number. Going back to last week, because 186 was like the low one that retested and kind of failed there. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'm a good ways away. It can have like this candle here. It can have big candles, even bigger than that. So we'll see what happens. Not forcing, but I did say I want to do some trades with you guys. So we'll see. We haven't looked at solar. So Sunrun. I'm gonna look at Sunrun and Solar Edge, and Sunrun's quiet as of now. All right, 30 some odd cents worth of range. Solar Edge. Yeah, pretty quiet there too. I did not, Tilray, was in the news, this whole cannabis thing going on with Trump pulling in. I mean, it was in the news. Is it worth a trade? I have trouble with it because it just reverse split rather 1 for 10, to make it tradable again. And it moved, obviously had a big move on Friday. And, we see the range there. Holy cow, 20 bucks worth of range there after that reverse split. Moving, I mean, is it a trade around $10 and change? I don't know. For now I'm not going to follow it. I don't want to get too caught up in one stock at this point. So for now I'm going to skip it. Back to the two guys who are moving because of the Tesla IPO. Okay, Rocket Lab coming in. Okay, that's interesting. All right, pulled in rather fast, so that's going to get my attention. So I'm not gonna be bidding for it yet, but I'm 55.69 for it. But the way the sense of urgency came in, let's look at EchoStar too. Are we seeing the same kind of thing there? Hang on for a second. Let's wait on it. Yeah, kinda. All right, EchoStar. I'm pretty far away too. I'm just below 102 for it, but that has my attention. Dollar General, we saw earlier, was a little bit higher. Taking a peek there. Okay, it's pulling in. Okay, 133 and change. Okay, I'm 129, 129.29 for it. So as we see it pull into here, but there, I've seen some decent moves there. That's why I'm like, MYM there. Basing things on history, and I think you guys pretty much know that by now my stuff is scripted. I spend time, on a spreadsheet in the morning, going through, putting the range in, putting the close in, putting in how it went out in regard to its range, and then that changes that just that number alone is going to change all my long and short prices there, which are numerous. I mean, they're like, 30, I have about 30 prices long and short on my spreadsheet. So usually pretty well prepared. And if it comes off, then I just make an adjustment there. Okay, so LVS kind of quiet. I'm pretty sure if we look at Marriott, MAR, we'll see pretty much the same thing. Going up a little. All right, going up a little, but still pretty quiet there. Not a heck of a lot of range there in Marriott. $4 or so for $300 stock. Not huge range. Alibaba and Baidu, which were kind of softening with some Chinese numbers this morning and sliding a bit more. Okay, Baba getting a little bit more interesting. I'm just below 146 to purchase it initially. And Baidu, what troubles me sometimes with these guys is that we need, not just a move down, but then some kind of retrace, if we're looking to get long here. And that we don't always see that as much with these Chinese stocks. So that's something in the back of my mind, and that's why I'm like being careful about it. There, I'm a good $7 away there. Let's look at GEV and Constellation Energy. Okay, GE Verona. Okay, above the 680 numbers, gapped up, staying up. Okay, almost came in, did it trade
Order
six?
filled.
Yeah, we saw one 680 number there, but it came off pretty well, holding up above there for now. So I should be looking at CEV. CEV, it's not going to be in it. It's not going to be what I wanted there. I should be looking at CEG. Got a little caught up in GE Verona there, GEV. So Constellation Energy. See what we have here. Waiting. Okay, still kind of pulling up. Okay, I am still like $10 away as far as short it there. Charter. Go through all my C's here because I have them all as relative strength shorts. Waiting on this guy. Okay, we see Charter pretty quiet here. Nothing doing there. CoreWeave, CRWV. I'll get through these guys. Then I wanted to go back to First Solar because that was at I think kind of an interesting spot. Last we visited. Okay, CoreWeave off a bit. I'm still about $6 away to purchase it. Pretty far away to short it. Carvana. Again, definitely the stock of the week last week. Going into the S&P 500. Waiting on it here, and it's
Order filled.
It's come in since it was, since got up to 467 and change. So that is what it is there. First Solar. Okay, Bitcoin right around just under now 88,000. So that's kind of interesting. And we see Carvana background 460, but I want to look at First Solar there. Kate, what do you got?
I got a fill at the Asian sesh high.
Anything worth mentioning?
Yeah. So we've retraced all the way from New York's open. We've hit the Asian high, which was about the open for yesterday's Asian sesh. I went ahead and took a 3 micros, not looking super hot. I'm going to stop out at probably 150, get this a little bit of breathing room. But like I said, Friday it just kept falling. I've tried longing off of all of these points of interest. Buyers have not been able to hold, so this is sort of my final stand. Back at Asia highs through the 15-minute sloping support. I would at least expect a retracement of that sloping support. But if I get stopped out, this might be it for my morning. I may go ahead and shut it down at about 1100 even, so I don't want to lose any more than that. But man, what an unfortunate morning for bulls. This is strictly bears eating this morning, guys.
Order filled.
Yep. Darn. That's tough, man. So we've now broken the Asian high.
Wow.
Yeah. So Asian high has been breached. Likely to, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we hit Asian lows now, which was at 25,150. So that's still almost a 100-point drop.
Uh-huh.
We're just pushing this New York
Yep.
low lower and lower and lower. It's no sign of buyers at the moment. So that's all I got. It's strictly sell off. Volumes all red. 15-minute candle, massive engulfed the entire night almost. We've now broken the support that we established on Friday. So it's Friday. So it's likely to try to test this, in my opinion, the sloping support, and grab more sellers before making its way to the next point of interest. Anywhere from 25 flat to 25.1 would be where I could possibly see this day reaching max pain. But this 15-minute candle here is not good for anyone looking for a buy position. That's from open to close, just selling. So that's my 2 cents. I probably won't try to catch another trade today. I mean, I'm pretty much minimal where I needed to end the day. So I took that last one really expecting the Asian high to hold, man. That's not a good sign. Unless it's just gonna, range right here. This is really where I thought it would come back to, the sloping support. Because I mean, even if we break, it's likely to come back, retest, especially being a point of interest on top of the sloping support. I would definitely see it move like this, likely. Although I don't really have the risk for my day to take a bet on it. So that's where I see the day going as far as NAS. Will I partake? Probably not. But anyone that does, man, best of luck. This is a nasty way to start the week. But I'm probably going to hop off.
And just to add a little levity, guys.
Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, in the meantime, add a little levity, guys. If you think the Nasdaq's bad, you should see frozen orange juice. The Duke brothers are really upset. I got to tell you, the trading place has been on recently. It's Christmas season, so it's a good movie if you guys have never seen it. Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, always a good combo, and it gets into a little futures trading, and the big crop report and stuff. So if you haven't seen it, I'll spare you the rest. Check it out. I'm sure it's only going to be on in the next week another 47 times or something like that. So
right.
We're looking. I wanted to pull up for solar because it's kind of approaching there, and it's like, do I want to venture in the 250s? $250 250s. I don't know, because it's kind of quiet as far as range goes there. I mean, we have $2 or so. That's not spot, because I know it can easily pull off from there. So not in a rush there. Micron's kind of coming in toward lower spots from the other day. It got as low as 239 something, I believe, on Friday, and almost tested the end of the day there. So it's one of those, sometimes I look back at relative strength things and say, what would have worked from the get-go? Well, sure enough, here's Micron. If, had been a more aggressive short and just put it out there on the gap, well, here you go. You got about $3 or so there, which, in the first half hour. So that's just kind of interesting. I got to go to Rocket Labs now, though, because I'm going to have to put something in. I hit the wrong bugger there. Okay, got it. All right, Rocket Labs, here we go. And we're going to see a lot of red here, okay? A lot of red here coming in from the get-go. And this guy, I got to find it and then get my order in here, okay? All right, so in 55.69 for it. Rocket Labs. I should see on my spreadsheet too where I want to be. Let me flip to my spreadsheet here, guys. I want to find too. I'm not going to add anything else in there, but I want to see where I want to be here. All right, 54.87. Okay. All right, my next two levels are going to be 54.87 and 54.20. Not super familiar with the stock. I know it can have moves on news days. I bet not too many people were thinking it would come in this fast. So you have some guys fleeing. Just look at Echo Star too, because that was mentioned at the same in the same paragraph this morning as Rocket Labs, and not so much. Okay, a little bit of a bounce back there. All right, so currently, bidding for Rocket Labs, which again is a bit away, buck and change away, and revisiting now our quantum stocks, revisiting IonQ. Okay, and we see holding 47 levels. Been 46.97. All right, had that drop off. I'll be kind of bummed here. I'm at like wanna keep it. Hopefully, not having to can it here because it traded fairly low. So I might have to get rid of it here because thought is if it goes out, if it kind of bounces here, if it in fact does trade lower, it's going through my limit. Okay, so I'm 46.64 for it. Been within 30 cents or so. Now it's like, do I keep it or do I have to go? Do I have to bid lower? Cancel it and bid lower. So we're at kind of a moment here. The same point, let's take a look at QBTS and Rigetti. So maybe I should be throwing in some orders there too. And again, it's nice to see these guys moving again because last week wasn't the greatest trading week for them. All right, 22.90 for QBTS. Okay, in the game, not going to look anything else up yet, but okay, QBTS again a little bit away, but I don't, I knowing the way these guys can move, I don't want to be missing. Rigetti still kind of away, but I like to move. All right, so 23. Okay, in the game there. 23 for Getty. All right, so bid for all the quantum guys and back to IonQ. So see if I should be doing something there to get rid of it. Waiting. What we got here? Yeah, damn it. Okay. All right, so that's not what I wanted to see there. I didn't want to see some kind of bounce there yet, and I have to pull that and go lower. Canceled it, and where do I want to be here? Though that's a bit of a bummer to see. To see it bounce like this and not be in the game. But that's part of it. Like I've said many times, we don't play horseshoes, and that's life. So people say there's a song in that too. All right, I'm 45.89 for it. Okay, my next reference point is going to be 45.38, but I'm not in there yet. Okay, so down to 45.89. So decent call there, but not quite there. Oh well, that's life. Let's see Rocket Labs. Okay, I'm seeing a bit of a bounce back there. Has been as low as 56.76. Considering that it was still pretty much a buck away, I'm not going to cancel that. All right, that's enough. And it's not, it's a mover, but not quite the mover that IonQ is. So for now, I'm staying there. QBTS bouncing too. Rigetti is kind of bouncing a bit there, but I'm sticking with those guys. All right, I see Tesla Force. Let's go back and revisit Tesla, and I want to look at Rivian too because I think Rivian's getting its act together a little bit too on the Tesla move because percentage-wise it's about the same. So we see Tesla kind of consolidating there. Is it worth it to do something? It's kind of funny, you got to laugh at yourself. when you consider like the lowest I was long Tesla the other day was, on Friday was, oh boy, am I out here? I saw Friday's sheet here somewhere. Was long at as low as 442, and here it is up there. And it's like, gee, why aren't I a swing trader? It's because I need to sleep. I don't sleep well when I positions. Tried that years ago. If I try this now at my advanced age, yikes, not the best idea. Okay, so we see Rivian approaching a space where it did a lot of work. Okay, 19 lower 19 levels here.
Order
We saw
filled.
all this stuff that it did
Order
here
filled.
here on Friday. All right, approaching there. Can it push up? Do I dare take a long position Rivian today? After being shorted lower than this on Friday. That's interesting juxtaposition there.
Order
So
filled.
can I adjust and do that? Definitely something different for me there. So we'll see. If it does something there, should I be doing that? What else we have going on here? That Rocket Lab is coming
Order filled.
back. I see that. Let's go to Rocket Mortgages, RKT. Okay, here, and we see that just come off, and that's had it as a short. You play it aggressively as a short. That's another one that would have worked out, but not the way I typically do things. Even as a long here, I'm away. So and then this is going to be good for the course of the day. But I'm 17, so I'm a good ways away there. Okay, as we see different things coming in, I want to take a look at our solars. I want to take a look at First Solar. Again, the range is not. The range is so small that it's keeping me out of that. So not going to be there. I haven't looked at Pure Storage, which I had, picked up in 3 different lots the other day, and wound up working out over time. For a while, it wasn't looking good, but stuck with plan there, and it did in fact. And it's we had talked about last week after the earnings, or maybe the past couple of weeks of being in the 70s and such range, kind of back into that. It's kind of like it was jumping into expanded ranges here. It was in a range it had been in, and then it was back in the range above it, and now it seems like it's back into this range from midday on Friday. Looking for it lower because I know it can move like that. I'm thinking like 67 or so. So no rush here. Okay, we're a little after 10. We got about 50 minutes or so. So if I want to do some trades with you guys, I better hustle, I guess. I'm just what I'm not. I say that I'm not really forcing it. I know Mondays are slower, but we're getting decent moves, and I have I do have a few things in. So
Order
we'll see
filled.
what happens here. We'll definitely see what happens here. Oracle, that's a bit there. Okay, so back off of 181 there. I want to take a look at AMD and Micron, which I had as morning shorts, but it didn't go up enough. They're both looking up, and I mentioned Micron as being would have been a good short from the get go on that gap. Can almost say the same thing about AMD in that it did cruise up a little bit higher, and then come off, kind of push through some levels from Friday, made a bit of a head fake, going back to Friday morning, and then came off. So that's kind of interesting there. Not a heck of a lot of range though, so we'll see. And Micron, when last we checked, it looked like it was heading for the lows from Friday, but hasn't quite gotten there yet. A bit of a ways to go. Like I pointed out, was nice little gap and a pull back, nice little retracement there. So money could have been made there. We haven't looked at IBM at all today. Missing anything? It's definitely quieted down some as far as movement goes. Okay, so it's pulled off about $4 or so since this morning. I have it a lot lower. I mean, was looking for a bigger move kind of day in it. So I was thinking right just below 295 to purchase it. And I get it's a long day, so we'll see what happens there. Intel I did have as a morning short. We weren't seeing much there, and we're still not seeing a heck of a lot there. And it's like feast or famine as far as movement goes there. Haven't quite seen it. I did want to look at Palantir too, which was quiet before. And after Palantir, I want to flip to Moderna and then revisit GEV. Moderna, well, Palantir, I didn't see very much there, so didn't exactly pause there for it. Moderna, anything off a little bit. I have it how much lower? I was thinking 26.66, so more than $2 away there. So less than thrilling. GE Verona. Like the moves here. I get it's it's a high six. Basically $700 stock. Worth noting, holding 680s. Former heights in my mind. Pretty good range. Not awesome range for $600 stock, but pretty good. Pretty good. Flipping around now. Okay, and still, I mean, like the snapback in IonQ, bummed that it was just off by a bit. Again, I want to, I would definitely be out of it by here, especially with it going back underneath 48. Again, my philosophy is want to at least start the day, with a good trade, mentality, if I can. So I'm a little bit quicker to take profits on the first couple of trades of the day, just to get into a good situation there, just to get into that, good for my mental health as far as stuff like that goes, I guess.
Order filled.
And I'm watching the market slide a bit, so that taking note of that, not seeing correlation with some of the stocks I'm following, but hoping that get a few longs here as far as things go, and then see some kind of pop back. But again, I on purpose I look to leg in. I don't want to do too much too soon there. Watching Bitcoin, 87,300 now, kind of coming off. You fastmates want to take a look at strategy and try to figure out some correlation here. Are we seeing strategy? The artist formerly long
Order filled.
formerly called MicroStrategy. I guess they have such a bigger position now that their strategy, and see, moving down with Bitcoin. So there is correlation today. What was that low there? 130s? No, 150. Okay, so pulling more toward the lows here. And I think that stuff. It hit the 155 levels when it
Order
was.
filled.
When Bitcoin was around 82,000. So that's interesting there to see how that moves. Rocket Lab coming back in. Can again needed to get down to 55.69 and then see some kind of retrace. Had a big thing. Looks like some kind of a consolidation here. See if it fades. See if it breaks that 56.75 low. That'd be kind of interesting. Seeing some of our quantum stocks pulling in again. Let's take a quick visit to QBTS. Okay, which is now 24.31. A little bit sideways
Order
there
filled.
going on. 24.38 now. And again, I am 22.90 for it. Rigetti, I'm 23 for it. RGTI. Another guy that's buck and change away. Okay, and again, kind of consolidating in this. Is it gonna continue lower? Are we going to see a reversal? Food for thought. and IonQ. Like I said, if I had been in the game, would have, definitely as it pulled back in toward 48, would have gotten out. Just knowing me, and it is, a bit lower, not on its worst levels here, but coming back into a range, which is interesting. I'm not as apt to jump in these guys, on range things. Even I'm going to do less size here because I know the moves, so I'm trying to be smart there.
Order
Take a look
filled.
at one other solar here. Take a look
Order
at end
filled.
phase, which is really quieted down as far as range goes. So not exactly happening. I think it's time to start to take a look at CoreWeave as a long. I know I'm away, but trading right around 72 and has been sliding for a bit. Okay, moving down. Very little consolidation here, and it's continuation kind of situation. Flipping to where I'm at here. Okay, I'm still a good $5 away though. Still 67 for it. But I am okay. I just put it in because I know the moves. I don't want to miss it. That FOMO stuff. I think I just like the cool word FOMO there instead of fear of missing out. Whatever. So I'm 67.24 for it. Just to have it there. I'm not even looking up the other stuff there. Take a fast look at Rocket Labs, which I am, bidding at least, a bit away, but bidding. What we're seeing. Okay, so we just, on this candle, we saw a new low. Seeing it coming off, getting interesting. I'm sticking, I'm still decent. The low is 56.37. I'm 55.69 for it. Sticking with, not low enough that I pull it. We seen anything come back? That other, GG. We saw it pulling in. Are we seeing that? We're seeing a consolidation in with that, which kind of makes sense. Did a
Order
lot of
filled.
work here
Order filled.
on Friday. Did a lot of work in there. So
Order
I guess that
filled.
kind of makes sense as far as that's where 10:20 got about 40 minutes with you guys. So am I not going to be good to my word and do any trades today? I don't know. We'll see. We got 40 minutes though. I'd like to see some of these guys move. I want to go back to pure storage and see if it's, is there a range bound trade here that I want to do? Because I know I'm a lot lower. I'm really at the bounds at the lower, definitely at the lower end of where it might go even lower than the earnings situations from a couple weeks ago. So when I said 60, around 67 for it, it's pretty far away. I think it got as low as 68 and change on that earnings day.
Order filled.
So seeing it 71, I think I'd like, I might do like some something just below 70. Kind of have it on
Order
my mind.
filled.
Bitcoin 87,000. I want to see RGC because that's one, I do have it priced out here, but I was being very cautious because it went out on the lows. It's been lower. It's been lower than today's low. See at 1630. Okay, let's do small amounts here. All right, 35,000 volume. The volume picked up a bit. Okay, what I'm going to do here, see at 1649, I'm going to be lower about a quarter, actually about a fifth of my normal size here in it. If I was trading it, in
Order
normal
filled.
setup things. So I'm going to say that.
Order
And because
filled.
I'm sure, I just put it 1580. I'm in 1530, 1480. Okay, I'm in 3 levels here. Again, about a fifth size. All right, so I'm 1580, 1530,
Order
and
filled.
1480. About a fifth size there. So we'll see what happens here. It's been as low as 1630. So I'm still being conservative, but the volume's not great. So it could pull it in any direction. So I just want to be smart about it. And we'll see it initially. It'd be amusing if I got long and then I got, in actual regular fill, 1391. That would be a bit of a disaster. Well, nothing's a disaster, but it would be less than good. Obviously, there Bitcoin under 87,000 now, 86,800. Just worth mentioning. Huge movers, not exactly. Some guys. The biggest down move I'm seeing is Rocket Labs, which is down 7.5%, and I'm looking to pick it up lower, and CoreWeave around 7.5% too, and I'm good $5 away there. QBTS
Order
off
filled.
$1.30 there, down 7%. Okay, but Tesla's holding up pretty strong. Remember I was talking about, do I want to get involved? If I'm seeing some sideways here, do I want to get involved? Even though I played it really small the other day, to hedge. Ha ha ha! No, it was definitely not a hedge. My Rivian short. That's totally not true. Is it worth getting involved for 72s? A little bit. And and getting out if the gap, if it gives up the gap. All right, I'll think on it. I'm definitely thinking on it, and we'll see. And Rivian did not hold up here. Okay, I said it was doing work. I said it was just above 19, where it was doing stuff from Friday. And it did. Of course, it was doing a lot of stuff there. Right around 19, and now it's giving it up pretty fast. So
Order filled.
although it did late afternoon stuff, it did some stuff here, but it was a big big move there. That's why I'm way the heck lower. But maybe I want to do something. I don't know. We'll see.
Order filled.
Look at Lucid. And again, I haven't traded Lucid. I used to have Lucid as part of these guys too, but Lucid, it's kind of come off it. And Lucid's coming in, but not really range wise. Not a lot more now. 63 cents. I mean, I guess that's good for its average range. Because look what it did on Friday afternoon. Not a heck of a lot. It really just sat in there. So I don't know. All right, see Tesla 473s. Okay, so maybe should be doing something. All right, let's look at a Tesla. 472. Okay. Okay. All right.
Order filled.
All right. Small, mind you. Small. Okay. For Tesla here, but all right. Okay, we're thinking, let's see it hold there. Hang on, I got one more to do here. Okay. All right, Tesla. Okay. So small, but thinking that it's going to, playing it to somewhat hold this gap. All right. 471, 469, 467. Okay. 3 small lots. All right. And we'll see what happens. And maybe something else here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it does. Still kind of hanging on here. That was just a head fake right in there to get me to at least place an order, and just came within 66 cents. I'm keeping it here for now. Okay, I'm not gonna cancel it. All right. All right, unless I cancel it right now. I'm kidding. Not pulling it yet. Revisiting Rivian. Do I want to do anything? Like I said, it was up so much.
Order filled.
Yeah, I'm going to skip Rivian now. I want to look at GEV. Remember, I was so proud of GEV, that 680 number. Looks like it's failed it now. So see, it slid there. It's still part of that range, though. We can look at that range, I guess. 670 is a okay number there too. What's that bottom there? Now a little bit higher than that. So that's reaching pulling at straws there a little bit on my part. Approaching, do we play it going through 680? Not my gig, but it could be, could rip through or it could just plunge off of that.
Order filled.
Looking at that. So I'm not gonna look to do anything there. Taking a fast look back at Tesla. Okay, looking at our little candle there. Looking. Okay, and let's see, still the same, the same guy. Here, I want to go to CEG, because we saw GEV, we saw GE Verona coming in. So what are we seeing in Constellation
Order
Energy? Are we
filled.
seeing the same kind of move here? No, we're seeing consolidation here. Okay, so take that for what it's worth. I do see Carvana moving in though. And Carvana, I'm not going to like this because I had it, I had it as a morning short but higher. Okay, I'm not going to like that. It pulled in from
Order filled.
from 467, and I was 10 bucks away. But it's Carvana, and the moves that it made last week, just had to treat it with kid gloves. Sometimes you just have to be that way. I mean, other times I would be less aggressive, more aggressive rather, I should say, with Carvana. But the way it moved last week, it was just the right thing to do to be smart about it. You should be looking at Oracle and AMD and that all those guys here. So let's go take a look here. Okay, Oracle's still kind of hanging. It hasn't, really, I get near the lows and decent range, but hasn't really given up the ship.
Order filled.
Okay, Advanced Micro. Taking a look here, and we got. Okay, big, big move in, and I am on the long side here. All right, I'm way the heck away, thinking that it could be a big move day, but on its lows, I got a long way to go. It's just slightly negative. Visiting some of these lows from Friday, so that's interesting. Not going to hop on board quite yet. Micron, I think we're going to see a similar thing, on that pulling in, and
Order
I was
filled.
long 441 and change on Friday, but that was a planned trade. That was not like on a bigger move down. It hasn't approached that back to afternoon range before it kind of gave it up and closed out near the lows, but holding the 242 number there. And I am way the heck away there. Yeah, way the heck away there as far as my own numbers there, as opposed to taking a small trade there this morning. Okay, NVIDIA waiting on and not seeing a huge move here. Okay, $3 and change rather worth the range. Not seeing that. It's not my favorite stock because it doesn't move enough for me, quite honestly. I know it's a benchmark, and I do have to keep an eye on it. I get that, because everybody watches it, but not oh, my favorite thing to always be in. I do have that Pure Storage. I was talking about it before. Okay, and we didn't have anything in yet, and that tail got down to 70.24, and I said just under. It's under. I have something here. Maybe I have 67 as a price here, but I said a 69 number. Just under. Do I really have anything there? Works with the range there. See, it moves so much, because it had 560 in range. Okay, I see what I got here. Okay. All right, I'm Pure Storage, 69.71 for it, but smaller. Okay, 1/5 size, just 69.71 for now. I want to take a look. I'll be 68.79 and 67.90, but to be in. Okay, 68.79 and 67.90. Again, 5th size. All right. If in fact I get anything. All right.
Yeah, a bit of a rebound on
Going
those
back
tech
to
stocks.
Tesla.
I didn't listen to myself. I ended up taking one more kind of degen trade. Unfortunately, it wasn't the best timing, so I scaled in a little bit heavier than I wanted to, but closed the gap, got my target. But I, for whatever reason, just kept buying at the wrong times earlier. Sometimes it helps to just walk away and let the market breathe. What a morning, man. Tons of sell-offs. You trying to catch some of this rebound?
Getting interesting. And yeah, no, I've been like, I threw in up with Tesla and I got it. And all right, just flipped out a Tesla right here. So again, guys, it was nothing, nothing to get excited about, but because it was small, it was a 5th size, but $2 and change in Tesla, 473.68 was out. But it was just nice to be in a trade, I guess, as we got that. I want to see if we got any Rivian corresponding move here. I was looking at that, and I'm still leaving in Tesla, leaving in 469 and 467, at least for now. Okay, Rivian was seeing a move back too. But sometimes, guys, we get a little caught up. Get it caught in my head. Even though I did in Tesla, I did it really, really, really small. That Rivian was short, like just below 1850 on for my first piece on Friday. So sometimes when that kind of thing's in the back of your head, you still don't get involved. But Tesla, I think, was a little bit easier because even though I was long as low as 442 on Friday, the fact that it was small, this in Rivian was a normal size entry on Friday. So I was going to get it small today. I just couldn't get involved. So that's my twisted rationale there, and it's getting to the top of its range there. So that's interesting. I wanted to look at RGC, see if I have anything interesting going there, because we are looking to get in here. So bounce back up. Any volume there? It was like 35,000 volume there, so that's a bit of a red flag. No volume. No, still volume's still pretty quiet. So I'm still going to stick, with those low limits there. My initial entry there is 1580, and again on about 5th size. Back to Tesla to see what's happening there. Okay, and it's still kind of getting back there, but I'm happy to have a trade there. Happy to have a profitable trade, just psychologically, I guess. I don't care if it goes to 500 now, because actually that'd be good because it would get me short. But it's nice to be there. Quick look at Rocket Labs again. And again, it was lower, and it came, somewhat close. Now it's kind of sticking up there a little bit higher. Anything else really valid right now? The quantum guys are just a little bit higher. What we didn't look at, I did not price out Sarepta today because it didn't have good range on on Friday. I just want to take a peek here. That's SRPT. We're sitting here waiting on it. Okay, so another guy that came in pretty quick this morning, about a buck range, which is kind of average. Would not look to jump in even with this consolidation here. It's probably not going much past the 2120 piece. I would think much lower. I would think low 19s there. So that would be a ways to go there. I want to revisit here our solar stocks because it's been a while for solar. I was thinking 250 again because 250 was an actual price for the day. If you guys remember, uh, before this moved down, I'm not going to slide back to it, but I had a 258 or so piece there, and it never quite got there, so I canceled it. And my morning session ended, and I said 250 or so, and I did pick it up there and had an okay trade there. Got out in the 255s. I was happy with that. Came in this morning. Back to there. So it was viable here. For so it had potential. But I kind of poo-pooed it because the range wasn't good. All right, first solar, we want to see, even on a morning move, we want to see at least $10 or so. Okay, and it wasn't there, so not really upset about that. And I think we saw the same lack of moves in Sun Run and Solar Edge. So looking at Run right here, again, just waiting a second on it. Trying to be patient. Yeah, no, it's okay range, but it's not great. And Run, I'm pretty far away. Where did I say I looked to pick it up? Where did I price it this morning? All right, I'm way the heck away. I said 1620, and then I love this stock because it does move well, and it's good. A stock in the teens that a lot of times it trades a buck and a half, $2 worth of range. Gotta love it because bang for your buck. So like that, the same way I like Rivian as far as bang for your buck, moves it can have, i.e. on Friday. Solar Edge, okay, yeah, not seeing good move there either. I want to look at AI because AI is another one that since we're talking bang for your buck, kind of moves that we get. Okay, so we see pulled in like a good 80 cents or so from the open this morning. Consolidating here. Where's it going to go? Is it going to retrace or is it going to go? I'm still staying away. I'm like 90 cents away, a little less than 90 cents away. I'm 13.77 for it as an initial purchase there. But it, I see it. All right, I see it there. Okay, so I'll be more conscious of it and make an effort to check it out. Core Weave, we haven't seen it do much since last we checked. It was right around 72. That's a bit higher, but we're not seeing some of these other guys are bouncing okay. Core Weave, we're seeing a lot of sideways. So even though I'm a good ways away, I making a mental note. All right, definitely. These Chinese guys, Baidu and Alibaba. Again, there was not a lot. Remember, there was not a lot in the news, but this morning, Rocket Labs is getting interesting. Was getting interesting. Baidu, gap and consolidation here. Baba. Do we pretty much have the same thing? Taking a look here. Yeah, basically. Where am I, Baba? I am $4 and change away. That's a little more viable than Baidu, where I'm a good $7 away. So, just thought we'd take a peek and see there. probably go back to GEV and see, did we get some kind of push back to the 680 number? Yeah, when I said should we play it, pushing through 680, and now it looks like, was a fake out, even though they traded the 680. Was there was a trade here, if he picked it up 676 or something like that, and into 680, and giving it up right around there, or being patient and try to stick in it, and then come out as it came back into 680, getting yourself out. I don't know. Is it gonna range here? That I'm not sure of, but not gonna look to hop on board right now. I do want to see the pure storage situation, where before I said, we put in the 6971 number, and hasn't quite gotten there. It's been 7019. I'm gonna stick with 6971. It's enough away that I think it could be okay. And that would be first entry. Next entry would be about 90 some odd cents lower, and next one about the same lower. And again, that's fifth size, so being careful. Is that Tesla still going? I was just joking when I said, it can go up to 500. Wouldn't care. Of course I would care. All right. Do I not bleed? Yada, yada. All right. Wait on Tesla here. I did that one dinky trade, and it's still going up. Hey, I was happy to get out with a little bit of money, but darn it. Oh well. What can I say? Strong, obviously. So noticing the strength there was a bit of a consolidation, at least, gave it, gave it a go there. All right. Was able to pick up some stock. So that was good. Got out kind of fast, just to have a trade, more so than anything else. And that's, it is what it is. What can I say? That's a small amount. Revisiting our quantum guys, as we got 15 minutes here. And while I'm waiting for Rigetti, again, if you guys ever have questions, you can reach me email wise, jgre910@gmail.com. That's jgre910@gmail.com. Just in case. Rigetti, okay, so pushing, if you're like a breakout kind of player here, maybe, give it a go. Not exactly me. I'm sticking, because it moves so much. I want to stick with limits. And what did I say here? I'm 23 for it, so it seems kind of far away, but it's not really, really far away. At least it's moved a little bit more today, although less so than the other guys. Okay, G-Wave, QBTS. It's another guy that's top of range. Yeah, pretty much. We're seeing kind of this similar chart. Is it breaking through? Maybe. But again, not hopping into this guy either. Sticking 2290 for it. Okay, and I'm in there, bidding 2290. Going to stick with that. IonQ, which I did miss and canned my first limit. And missed a bit of a rally. Missed some bucks there. Okay, back above the 48 level, and has not challenged that. That low hasn't really challenged that 46.97 number. Will it later? I don't know, but I'm not there. I'm lower now. Where am I now? 45.89. So a ways away. Back to, let's look at CEG, because we're looking at GE Verona before. So looking at Constellation Energy, waiting, and still range bound there. Okay. And maybe it's a trade. Maybe there's a trade here. Maybe I should be 355 or so. All right, looking at that, played off of that, It's held there, held there, gave it up late on on Friday afternoon, the last hour. All right, and we saw the 350 number this morning. For a blink, only $9 worth of range after a really good movement day. So again, I'm thinking on it. Yeah, and we're pulling in. Yeah, I get it. We did one trade here in Tesla.
Jim, can I ask?
But I tried. I put 3 limits in. I still have 2 limits. Yeah.
Do you are you familiar with Uranium Energy Group, ticker UEC?
I am not, but I want to take a peek here. Definitely take a look.
It's just a domestic uranium company here in the States, and had a insane rally over about 3 years, and now it's in between this kind of like $10 to
I think I know what
$14
we're going to see
range.
there. I know we're going to see there as far as 52-week range.
Yeah,
Yep.
just a run up. Yeah, I was just curious if you were
I've been
familiar with it. I
trying
saw
to avoid
CEG.
all like for the most part minerals, because they changed. What was the one that got touted? The government was going to get involved. It's a single thing, MS or something like that, or
Oh yeah,
I think I'm wrong. Was it MS? Wait, I forget.
well, they were doing stuff with lithium for a minute. They were investing in lithium and uranium. I
Yeah,
couldn't tell you
lithium's a key.
which ticker though. I'm not
Wait, no,
sure.
that's Morgan Stanley. I should have known that. Yeah, yeah. Not recalling it right now, but yeah, you would see that. I've been trying to avoid these guys, and if it's a specific day, I'd probably get involved or look to get involved. But be careful. Makes me want to check out Tilray too, the star from
Right.
Friday, which I basically ignored like the plague on Friday, and I saw it in the news again this morning. And last time we looked, it was what, like 1060 or something like that, and got out of the tens. So, yeah, we were looking at it down here, and I said nope. But I think maybe I mentioned the consolidation there. I don't know, I forget. But it did come off those levels, so there was a trade there, but again, chose not to. Do we want to visit RGC? Is there anything doing there? Visit? Wait for a second here, guys. Yeah, so no, when I saw it down yonder a while back, I threw in 1580 and 1530 and 1480, thinking that something might happen, but obviously has not. So what can I say? So be it. Rocket Lab's not seen it come in much again. Wider one, when you have news situations, because a lot of times they move more than you think. So at this point, I think I'm pretty grateful for a good Friday. Getting really a good moving and being a bunch of things on Friday, because that saved my ass for last week, because otherwise it was a quiet week. So was it like to see that, and I don't know what I'm expecting this week. I know they said a lot of financial data. I know we're pretty much out of earnings. We're getting toward the Christmas stuff. I know, I think like Hanukkah just started. And everybody's going to holiday parties and stuff and whatever else, all that good stuff, and almost makes me want to be a tourist and go into the city and check out department store windows or something like that. I don't know. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Definitely not doing that. But it's pretty funny, I guess.
Well, as far as the week
Tesla's still
goes,
there. Should I be thinking Rivian again?
I was going to mention we on Nasdaq did approach
Yeah. What do you see
earlier
for data?
in the morning. I was just going to mention I threw out that number, that 25 flat to 25 100 for MNQ. That's the 4 hour range that I've had tracking for a couple weeks now. But it breached that, and then it's retraced probably 60, going on 65% of that move down. So honestly, the fact that we have this 50% of our 4 hour wedge has happened in this morning, we're either going to stay within this range, in my opinion, for the week, or we're going to break out of one of them and retest. The likelihood of that being on the downside for my 4 hour chart isn't super convincing, but it would be pretty cool to see this flush. The rollover that happened last week, I think, was a good start, but this 4 hour chart's been, I mean, it's even when it has fallen, it's almost immediately recovered, and this is going back all the way. I mean, this is over the summer, yeah, since what was that, Liberation Day back in April. Coming up on the support level that is a product of that. So
Yep.
I would expect a lot of buyers once we actually get to that 25 even, but we came about 30 points north of that 25,000. So my opinion is we're going to be on this range that I've got the today's high and low and set up the blueprint for the week as far as the index goes. But that's just my 2 cents. Thought I'd chime that in there.
Nice. Definitely appreciate that. Gets me thinking about different things here. Especially going back to April. Uh, I just want to see enough movement. I don't care. If we spring my a lot of my problems with up movements are that they're boring. We don't get, like I said, vol comes in. We don't see the move. We see better, bigger moves on the downside. Obviously not as off, but gets me into more situations. And I have been working on playing more, consolidation kind of things. I mean, you guys just saw me in the Tesla thing just to do something. At least I have something, something on the board here. So, and yeah, I get it's going up. I'm not going to pat myself on the back saying that's a good trade when I was out of it, for 73.60 something. So, because it did. Now we're seeing a consolidation here near the top, and if we're going to see, odds are, like these things, typically they play out with a continuation. So maybe it does give 500 a shot today. It could be that day. And if so, guess what? Yours truly will be getting short just under 500. So,
Yes,
but
sir.
hopped in long side once. Do I want to get back on the long side again today? I don't know. Lower, yeah. Are we going to revisit? And if we do get down here again, are we going to fill? It's going to be because we crapped out, on some of the numbers you were just talking about, and then does anybody want to go? Back to GE Verona, holding at 680. So is that real? Is 680 a number now? Again, going back to last week, thinking that I believe it was at the old high before, on the earnings date made a new high, and then it was higher. But not as big a move today. $20 worth of range is not huge for a basically $700 stock. But is that a number? I don't know. RGC, I just want to see because I just want to see what the volume is there. Been kind of crapola as far as volume goes, and I'm away by a buck, and it's still it's less than its average volume as far as that goes. So nothing exciting there. Looking at I'm just flipping through the Nvidias and Palantirs, and Micron I see a little bit lower. Is that low for the day? Not exactly. All right, so buck higher than the low for the day. It did it did get that bounce. Now it's coming in again. Is it going to hold? Like close to the lowest levels of Friday. That's that's interesting. And I did have a regular trade there on Friday down here, and actually just missed the second piece of it, but didn't quite get there. but I can tell you at that point I was happy to get out pretty fast. I did not last into some of this stuff, that 245s and stuff on midday on Friday. So that was that. I want to take a couple of looks here at things that we do have at least open orders out in before we get out of here, because we got 2 minutes and then we're bye bye. I apologize to you guys for only taking a couple of trades. All right, so Pure Storage traded down to 70.10, and I am 69.71 for it, and I'm gonna stick with it. It could well at least get me long this first lot. Overall range is quiet today. A buck 50 and change is not much for it. It was $5 or so in range on Friday. So bidding for one lot of Pure Storage, 69.71. Below that, I don't have in 68.79, 67.90. Our quantum guys, IonQ, again missed that initial potential trade, bounced okay, and now looky here, we're pulling in some more. Okay, we're close to the lows, pulling in. I am a good buck or so away. Still, I'm 45.98 for it, 45.89. Did that words back? I truly think I'm dyslexic because I'm always messing these things up. Okay, 45.98 for it. Getting down there. Rock Labs bidding 55.69. Waiting on it. And again, ways to go, but getting more interesting. At least below 57 again. This could well happen. All right, below that, I am 54.87, 54.20. Not with orders in yet. Just the one there. My other two quantum guys, Rigetti. Waiting.
Yeah, I'm not taking any more trades this morning
this
personally.
could get interesting.
Sorry, I was just mentioning. I'm just throwing out a whole bunch of. If I was scalping, this is the plays I would do on these entries. So you just see me shuffling through here. That's really all I'm up to the rest of this morning. Is just putting out suggestions. There was a bit of a rollover, buyer exhaustion, so that would have been my entry on that wick back up to this previous open there. Looks like this one would have gotten stopped out. I don't know. I could double check. I don't know if that would have filled, but if it didn't, that would have survived a little sweep. Although we still have this 5-minute trend upward, I'll consider that stopped out. But that's pretty much it. I'm just cycling through, but yeah, pretty good morning. There's a bunch of selling off. I'd figured today is gonna result in a couple of buying opportunities, depending on whether or not these key levels hold for the indexes. But I'm going to go ahead and call it in the morning, Jim. It was good watching you, man. Thanks for all the info, dude.
Hey, thank you for adding, a lot of good stuff there. Really appreciate that. My thought, guys, is, I'd like to see, a little, things come off a little bit more, maybe, get involved in either, in these quantum names or Rocket Lab or Pure Storage. We'll see what happens. I mean, we got a heck of a lot of day left. I am done with my relative strength stuff, and that was a big nothing this morning. Only had that one Tesla trade. That IonQ just could have been okay, but obviously didn't happen. So oh well. Move on. Keep a clear head, and have a good afternoon. Be back to you guys at 9:15 on Wednesday. All the best next couple of days, and we'll talk again soon. Bye, guys.